Hey everybody, Karyn Bryant with you today, kicking back with me, Adam Fugitt. Listen, he is off the win at UFC Vegas 93 over Josh Quinlan. And as I was just looking at this, I was saying going into this fight, it wasn't a huge line, Adam, but you were a plus 110 dog to a minus 130 for Quinlan. So how does it feel to get that win?
Oh, it feels great. It's always I don't know. I always like being the underdog. It's always a good time to kind of go in there and mess with the Vegas odds.
Nice. So this was a great matchup. You know, we talk about the first fight on a main card. You guys are usually put in that position because they matchmakers know it's going to be a banger. So when you saw Quinlan, you know this is a kind of a matchup to give some fireworks. I guess you were probably pretty fired up about it.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. I've been telling the story in pretty much every interview I have. It's two guys that both 1-2 on our first contract. It's
Hmm.
kind of it's the sad part of it, but it's reality, right? We're kind of down on our luck. We're both trying to get a W, and we're both kind of looking like if we get another L, then it might be our last fight with the UFC for a little bit. So it's kind of winner stays and loser goes home. So I knew it was going to be it was going to be quite a competition. It was going to be quite a fight against both guys that are really have no problem scrapping.
So with that in mind, then, as the decision is being read, and a split decision always has to kind of make your heart stop for a moment. So what were you thinking?
Oh, 100%. I know in MMA, they don't always score kicks,
Hmm.
the way that you wouldn't say like a Muay Thai fight, where
Hmm.
they score kicks, very well. And so I'm sitting there in my head going, oh no. Even though I kicked the forearms and was trying to kill one of his weapons, try to take out one of his main weapons, and
Yeah.
they didn't. They obviously didn't appreciate, the kicks as much as I appreciate them. So I left it in their hands. I'm going to have to kind of, live with the consequences, which I don't like to do.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel bad, right? Because we all know that whole saying of like don't leave it in the hands of the judges, but you guys are doing everything you can. It's not like you're not trying.
No,
So I wouldn't beat yourself up too much for that.
I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it's just how we are. It's how we're programmed as fighters. We're always, at least for myself and a lot
Yeah.
of fighters, we're always going to look at our, where we could have improved. And, we're on our own biggest critic always.
I hear you on that. So, but as the fight went on, though, it did seem like things were improving to you because it seemed like some of the things that Josh was able to do earlier in the fight, he had less success with later on. So I feel like you should at least recognize the adjustments that you made in the fight seem to have worked in your favor.
100%.
Yeah.
We came in with a game plan, and a big part of that game plan is getting myself out of my own way because I have no problem going into a firefight and constantly wanting to put myself in the phone booth, and
Hmm.
a lot of that comes down to just kind of lack of focus and then a little bit of self doubt, I guess.
Hmm.
Like not trusting my skills, not trusting my length and my striking as much. I'm a wrestler at heart, and I like to get in close and kind of get a hold of people. So just getting more comfortable as the fight went on. That first round was definitely a feeling out process, and then the
Hmm.
second round I found my range a little more. Things started landing, and then in the third round, I mean, I put multiple head kicks in there, and I thought like I was joking around, and I still think that people are going to watch that fight and be like, man, he must not kick that hard. And I know I kick hard, but Josh, Josh is, I said he was very durable, but man, he has a cast iron chin. He was,
Yeah.
he wasn't going away.
Yeah, no, he's very durable, and it was just a great fight, and I do understand what you're saying though about because you have very long legs, you you should definitely use those.
Definitely. Right. Right. I mean, I need to use them. I
Totally.
don't know this long.
Yeah, yeah. So one thing we were mentioning leading up to the fight was your work at Fight Ready. You got to work with my guy KG. I love Kelvin Gastelum so much. So what was that like? How much did that help you? Because obviously, going with somebody who's fought that much and fought at such a high level is always going to help you. But Kelvin's also somebody who's had to weather ups and downs, and I feel like has a good perspective on a lot of things in the fight game.
100%. I felt like I gained a brother for sure this
Yeah.
camp. Kelvin's he's great. I love him. And the competitiveness between both of us. I've been telling everybody this. It's not when we get in there and spar. It's not I got to go beat Kelvin or Kelvin's not. I got to go beat Adam. We got
Mm-hmm.
a thing we're trying to do. We're trying to run, and a strategy or whatever, a game
Mm-hmm.
plan, and we get in there and we're trying to do that to the other person. It doesn't matter who it is. It just happens to be me. And so when we start kind of adding up points on each other, the other guy goes, hold up a second. Wait, no, no. And then, the next guy, it's just this ladder effect, where
Yeah.
I get up a couple steps higher than him. And he's just
Yeah.
like, no, that's not how this goes. And then he's coming back, and
Yeah.
it sounds like it would lead to this, brutal, like in camp fight. And it never reaches that point. It's just ultimate kind of like competitor. It's
Mm-hmm.
we want to win, as badly as the next guy, but we both understand I got to get him to his fight, and he's got to get me to my fight, and
Right.
but I feel like that competition always leads to bringing out the best in your training partners. So I'm truly grateful for him and the other guys in my camp, Ray Waters and Dan
Mm-hmm.
Moret. They really pushed me this camp. Um, you know, Kelvin, his striking is world class. We saw, him fight for the middleweight title. So
Yeah.
I had a lot of confidence going in there, even with, striking not being my main forte. I had a lot of
Mm-hmm.
confidence in being able to keep my space and work at my pace in the fight because of Kelvin.
Nice, and it's showed it's just such an excellent person to have around, and he's just a good time too. Kelvin's just a lot of fun,
Oh yeah.
regardless. I've never been kicked in the head by him, never been punched by him. I just really enjoy his company. So,
I had both of those, and those aren't fun. But overall, he's a very fun person to be around. He keeps the mood light. It's really great.
for sure. Now, last I got to ask you too, because when you're fighting, I don't know if I'm sure you've heard it before, but Kiesa, when we were breaking down the fight, he's like, yeah, and he's Paulie Paul Felder's like long lost cousin or brother or something. And there were times in the fight when I was at first, I was like, I don't know. And then there were times I was, oh my God, he does look like Felder in there. Have you heard that before?
Actually, this was the first week I kind of heard that.
Yeah.
You know, uh, hey, I'll take it. And if I can, when it's all said and done, if I can follow in Big Bro's footsteps into commentary, please let's
Right.
make that happen.
Yeah, I'm like there's worse people you could be that you could be like for sure. Nepal's killing it too. Plus, I love that he's on Hacks. Even my mom like sent me this pictures the other. She's like, wait, I know him. I'm like, yeah, no, we love that. It's doing great. So I forget. I'm sorry, because after the fight night, you guys have adrenaline dumps. I have sometimes like an information dump. I don't remember if you called somebody out specifically on the mic after the fight.
No, I didn't call anybody out. I'm terrible with that. You know, uh,
It's all right. I mean, it helps. It helps only because sometimes you can do the matchmaker's work for them, and it kind of helps the storyline if you've got one to give. But I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with saying like, look, line them up, I'll take them all down. That attitude is also good. So
100%.
yeah,
It's you got to climb you got to climb the stairs. You got to climb the ladder to the top of
hmm
the mountain anyway, right? So, just basically saying I'm going to hit every step on that way up is kind of how I look at it. But as far as anybody out there, I haven't. I'm not a good long term thinker. I'm kind of a in the present kind of guy. I do
yeah.
get hit in the head for so.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. Okay, so how are you going to? Well, I guess maybe you can't even really take much of a break. Are you going to be helping Kelvin? Like, what are you doing now that your camp is done and you have a little time?
So Kelvin's already flown out to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
He fights, this weekend. So
Right.
he's go Kelvin, go get it done, brother. I'll see you soon. Um, yeah, I just dropped my girlfriend off at the airport, and
Okay.
I'm probably gonna head home for like a little stint to
Yeah.
see my family, my nephews and my niece who are growing like weeds,
Yeah.
and then just let my body recover, and I'll be back. That sounds like they want me to fight in the fall, so I
Nice.
can't be away too long. I got to get back and immediately refocus and and just start preparing. The in between fights is kind of when you really get to play with
Hmm.
different strategies and different techniques and stuff. And in camp, I think you got to really kind of just kind of hone everything and really narrow that focus down to what you want to do. That
Yeah.
way, everything's sharp when you get in there. So, yeah, I don't think I could be away too long. Maybe a week, maybe 3 at the most. But
Yeah.
we're gonna be back here real quick.
Nice. And I feel like you said at the beginning, you know, it is real, the feeling of, hey, my back is against the wall. I'm 1-2, so maybe you can breathe a little easier now, feeling like you've proven yourself. I feel like you and Josh both proved yourself. I hope he doesn't get cut because it was an excellent fight. So, but I'm guessing maybe you can exhale just a little bit.
Yeah, we can exhale a little bit, but with going through that last fight camp, I think one of the biggest learning lessons for me was just trying to remain in the present. And
Hmm.
you know, I think taking too long of a breath, or relaxing too much is going to be a hindrance. So I just need to you know I've done that a little bit. I don't know if you see it. My face is kind of puffy from all the carbs and the sweets I've been eating. We got to refocus and get back on
Yeah.
diet. Get in the present and be ready for that phone call because it's gonna come.
Yeah, it is. It is. Well, you put on an excellent show, and yeah, you made good on that slot being the first fight on the main card. It's always a banger. You guys delivered. So, congrats on the win, and yeah, just keep chugging. Looking forward to your next fight.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me on.
All right, take it easy, Adam.
Bye bye.
Bye.